Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a deeply moving, honestly beautiful story about a pioneering woman who is finding a completely new purpose through some seriously groundbreaking technology. We're looking right at the intersection of human resilience and cutting-edge science, and how it's fundamentally changing what we all thought was possible.
So, let's just start with a crazy question. What if you could create art using only your mind? I know, it sounds totally like science fiction, right? But I want to introduce you to Audrey. She is an incredibly talented artist, and she is doing exactly that. She's a quadriplegic artist who found a way to bridge that massive gap between her creative mind and the physical world. And how she's doing it? It's absolutely extraordinary.
Section 1. The loss of independence, from normalcy to devastation.
To really appreciate this, we have to look at where Audrey's journey started. It began with a life-altering car accident when she was just a normal high school freshman. At age 16, literally everything changed, and that ushered in a devastating gap of 2 decades. For 20 whole years, she hasn't even been able to write her own name. Then, at year 21, the dawn of a new technological hope arrives with the Neuralink breakthrough.
You can imagine the reality of that agonizing timeline and how heavily it weighed on her. Audrey noted, relying on somebody 24/7 does make you feel like a burden. Now, while her mind remained perfectly active, completely full of creative vision, the sheer inability to physically do things for herself just took a massive emotional toll. Going from doing everything yourself to absolutely nothing, it left her feeling completely stripped of her independence.
Section 2. The digital breakthrough, regaining a piece of herself.
So Audrey made the incredibly courageous decision to take back her agency. She became the very first woman to participate in the Neuralink study. And during the initial calibration, she learned to move a digital cursor purely with her brain activity. Just imagine the sheer joy, the relief of that exact moment. She simply thought about moving it, and it moved. After 20 long years of not being able to so much as write her name, suddenly this entirely new digital world opened right up to her. She finally regained a little piece of her independence.
And this technology completely dissolved the barrier between human and machine. Audrey explained, "When I'm moving that cursor, it makes me feel normal. That's me, that's part of my body." You see, that cursor literally became an extension of her physical self, giving her back this deep, highly personal sense of normalcy. She could draw, she could express herself, and it really didn't matter if anyone else liked the art or not, simply because it was hers.
Section 3. Controlling a robotic arm, the physical leap.
But here's the thing, regaining a digital presence was really just the beginning. The crucial milestone is the transition between these two realms. On the one hand, we have the digital control, right? The abstract joy of moving a pixel on a screen and getting that sense of self back. But then, they take a physical leap. This is where she translates a thought into the beautifully tangible act of putting actual paint on a real canvas using a robotic arm. The team presented her with this arm to give her more independence in everyday life and essentially a whole new medium for her art.
And her reaction to this is just profound. She noted, going from digital control to robotic control was very surreal because it felt like my arm. Utilizing a robotic limb she hadn't possessed for 20 years, that wasn't just some mechanical victory of engineering. It was a deeply human victory that physically reconnected her to her canvas. She could see the canvas in her head, think forward, and the arm would move. Incredible.
Section 4. Creating something beautiful, a vision for the future.
As we look at the legacy Audrey is building right now, it becomes super clear her journey isn't just about her own art or her own independence. It's about holding the door wide open for everyone who follows. I want to pause on this number for a second. 21. This number represents the long, heavy 21 years of mental anguish Audrey has endured since her accident. It's a vast stretch of time entirely defined by limitation. But it's also a timeline she is now desperately hoping to erase for future patients who face paralysis.
Because Audrey's ultimate goal is to grant immediate access to this technology. She wants people who become paralyzed to have this access right away, so they literally never have to go through the mental anguish she went through for over 2 decades. Instead of dwelling on the past or, thinking I wish this didn't happen, this remarkable artist from a small town is using her experience to protect others. She has found a profound sense of purpose in advancing the very frontiers of medical research.
I want to leave you with Audrey's incredibly inspiring philosophy. She said, "You may not have the exact life that you want, but you can still take the life that you are given and make it into something beautiful." It is such a powerful reminder for all of us. No matter what limitations or roadblocks we face, we have the agency to create meaning. So how can Audrey's pioneering spirit inspire you to turn your own challenges into something truly beautiful? Think about that today.
Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.